Rommel continues his push, threatening to cut the Allied armies in half. To plug the gap at the strategic Kasserine Pass, 2 American divisions speed eastward from Iran. Thousands of trucks hauling all important supplies are a major factor in the battle. The weather clears, and 104 American aircraft heavily bombard the German lines. By the end of February, Rommel retreats to the Mareth Line, a system of fortifications built by the French before the war. This is his original position at the beginning of the battle.
Actually, the biggest problem we had was the shortage of water. We were allowed 1 liter per day. Of that, the field kitchen got a half liter, so we only had a half liter to drink.
While Operation Torch forces race in from the northwest, General Montgomery and his 8th Army strike the Mareth Line from the southern flank.
Fortunately for the British, they had ultra signal decrypts. They knew where the Germans were positioning their forces. The British had also been able to build up supplies, which had lagged behind during the pursuit after El Alamein, and were able to hook around through the desert and outflank much of the Mareth Line. So guarded by most of the German strength in Tunisia, the Mareth Line did not block the Allied advance.
On the 26th of March, resistance along the Mareth Line is broken. The Germans begin to retreat. On the 7th of April, the Americans link up with the British 8th Army. The trap is springing shut on Rommel. The last great assaults begin, with the Allies gaining the upper hand.
Tunisia ended with very hard fighting. The objectives were the 2 key seaports of Bizerte and Tunis, for which the Germans supplied their forces and at the end tried to evacuate them. German army on the defensive is always a formidable opponent. The Germans and their Italian allies, once they were unable through counterattacks to throw the Allies back from the borders of Tunisia, put up strong defensive locations along hills, would mount local counterattacks, interlocking fields of fire from machine gun. Even if they were outgunned by the Allies, their use of light artillery mortars to pin down attacking infantry, made most of the British and Allied attacks very costly. Rommel's powerful reputation was part of the Germans' effectiveness. George Patton took over the Second Corps, which was the main U.S. strike force, and he said, I'm not going to be intimidated by Rommel, and the U.S. was able to make sure that they did not develop a complex about Rommel being an invincible general.
By now, there is no alternative left for the Germans but to give up.
In the spring of 43, we were disappointed and angry at Hitler because he didn't send us any supplies. The only thing he sent us were orders to Rommel. You can lead your troops into victory or defeat. We had nothing left for victory, so the only thing left for us was defeat.
On May 7th, Tunis and Bizerte fall to the Allies. The German collapse is now complete. On the 12th of May, it's all over. 250,000 German and Italian soldiers have been taken prisoner. On May 20th, 1943, a gigantic victory parade is held in Tunis. Heinz Oberger is not present. He has been wounded before the surrender and returns to the Axis ally, Italy. Operation Torch is over. It is the first step in a long campaign which would eventually see the Allied forces push back the Germans to their own borders and break the Nazis' grip on Europe.